Okay. Blue Tempo. I think this deck has potential to be reasonable against the various Nexus of Fate decks out there, and we're trying out a number of new things from M21 in the list today. Notably, Lofty Denial is a 2-mana counter spell that I think is potentially very good in this archetype. So, 2-mana counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. If you control a creature with flying, instead counter that spell unless its controller pays 4. So, not quite strictly better mana leak, but in a lot of situations in this deck, it's going to end up being better mana leak. One thing you'll note about this configuration of Blue Tempo is because I'm looking to leverage Lofty Denial, I've elected to play 12 1-mana 1/1 flying creatures, so we can consistently have these down on 1, and then have Lofty Denial up for extra on turn 2 and later. Also worth noting that, like, in the early turns of the game, you don't need this card to, you don't need this card necessarily to have the extra text on it, because counter, unless they pay 1, is generally going to be good enough to counter most spells in the first, like, 3 to 4 turns of the game a lot of the time. One thing that's nice about having 12 1-drops is that in addition to these 4 Curious Obsessions, I've also got 2 copies of Sea-Dasher Octopus here, so having 12 of these and then 6 effects to let us draw extra cards maximizes our ability to, like, play a threat on 1 and then play a thing that lets us start drawing extra cards on 2. Beansy, thank you for the tier 3. You want to add some easy karma to the queue. Sounds good. And Kroos, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Another card we have from M21 is a reprint, but it's a card that I really love. I played this card a ton when it was in Standard last time. It's not quite Remand because it doesn't draw a card when it returns a spell to their hand, but this also doesn't just target spells, right? So it returns target spell or creature to its owner's hand. So this can tempo things that are already in play, and it can also help you win battles on the stack, which is great. So let's go ahead and dive on into some. Oh, one other thing to note here. Someone noted there's no Tempest Shins in this deck. I think with the extra tools this archetype's gotten, I'd rather play things like Brazen Borrower than Tempest Shin, just because it lets me do things like this. So you'll notice I've got 8 blue-black duels for 3 copies of Heartless Act in the sideboard, and this card is here exclusively to kill Shifting Ceratops. That's a card that people frequently board in this format to beat up the control decks that incidentally is just absurd against our archetype. So I'm hoping between Heartless Act to kill Ceratops and Aether Gust to tempo them on occasion, we won't just be stone cold dead to that card. So let's go ahead and pop on into some matches here with this and see how it goes. Yeah, tapping out for Jhin at sorcery speed is like is a big deal often. Yes, yeah, Unsubstantiate also does return Ceratops on the stack to their hand. It is not a counterspell. This matchup's probably very hard, if I had to venture a guess. Can I just hold up a counterspell here? And then if they don't give me something to counter, we'll play Sea-Dasher Octopus. Sure. You got me. Okay, so Sea-Dasher gives me a little bit more damage per turn. Also lets me start drawing cards, so hopefully apply a little bit of pressure. If they have 7 or more extra life, they get to make a white angel token with this. Field of Rune's an interesting inclusion in their deck. I wonder if they're not playing Linden. Unsubstantiate that, and this lets me hit them, and then next turn when they play that again, I get to dive down plus deploy Brazen Borrower, I think. We're doing well, Frigate Freeman. Thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. To be fair, the Drunk Owl, what you're talking about there, the fact that you're like, well, it's even in a core set, they've largely moved away from core sets being a thing that's explicitly targeted at new players. And core sets these days are largely for reprints. No, my audio setup today is identical to yesterday, half quarter. We are unfortunately losing this race. Really need a blocker. We could find if we find one of our two Merfolk Tricksters, that would be a great draw. Just so we can like block on the ground. Sea-Dasher Octopus kind of accomplishes that as well, huh? Basically just countering anything we can with these cards at this point. I'm gonna get a little greedy. It might be right to just play this out as a blocker. Hey, there's Scary Terry. So there's 4 instants and sorceries in my bin, so this is ready to fart. This is true. That's exactly correct. If we play a blocker, we draw fewer cards. Better than Mana Leak, chat. Better than Mana Leak. Well, poop. Deal? Brazen Borrower is perfect. You love to see it. Go ahead and bounce Speaker of the Heavens here. Am I chumping with Spectral Sailor? Okay, so they're going to lifelink this, which will take them to 9, and then they'll play this, which will take them to 10, 11. And then I'll play this, which will take them to 12, but then I'm attacking for 13, right? So they're dead. So gain 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. My counting was correct. Yeah, I would bet we're probably behind on average in this matchup. I feel like we got a little bit lucky there to win that. The second Brazen Borrower was very key. We're also drawing a lot of cards though, so like we're pretty likely to find it. I guess I don't actually really have sideboard cards here. Like I guess I'm boarding in Heartless Act. Spell Pierce doesn't seem particularly good. I think I want the Dextra Dive Down. Need to cut 2 cards here. Wizard's Retort's a little bit slow. Let's try this. Seeing here a little bit of the downside of having this Black Splash in our deck. I think I'm going to keep this still, because if we're fortunate and draw one of our untapped lands on one, this hand's absurd. We could just brick off and die, though. Go ahead and wait here, I think. Probably play this out and try and ambush some stuff in combat. Easy to dial. In this latest patch, there's like this short delay when there's like this short delay when your like thing actually hits them. It's weird. Alright, so I could eat something with Trickster here, but the Trickster is my ticket to killing this Adanto Vanguard, so I think I don't want to do that. I'm going to start with Opt before I decide what I'm doing. Dive Down's actually good, because it'll be a combat trick. Just going to go ahead and Opt again here. Huh? Yeah, it's another meaningful blocker here down the line. So if they get to 27, these things start activating, so that's not ideal. So we want to try and keep some pressure on here. Brazen Borrower is fantastic because it gives us a way to kill through some of these tokens if those are about to happen. So this is going to get them to 25. Okay, so this strip's indestructible, right? Like 99% sure that's how this worked when it was in standard. Yeah, okay. Good, got it. Get it, got it, good. And now that they paid 4, they can't activate any of these Speakers of the Heavens. Oh, and they gave me an untapped land. Yeah, opponent had some sequencing mistakes here that are definitely giving us a leg up. Like I said, I think this matchup's getting a little bit hard for us on average, but opponent's giving us a little bit of an advantage here. All right, all in. Hey, Quarth, thanks for the 23 months. Diaper money indeed. Kids ain't cheap, chat. I love them, but kids ain't cheap. The kids don't just poop in a litter box, negative. Your 5-month-old daughter had surgery and a week visit. Total bill $37,000. Yep, sounds... I hope she's doing well, Mafia. Welcome to America. I assume you're in America. Are there other countries that give you a $40,000 bill to save a child's life? Ah, I see our opponent is also someone of culture. I would like to let chat know that I appreciate everybody out there that is a dual income, no kids. People that are dual income, no kids are basically the reason why this is my job. God bless you. I counter this rather than let them eat my Stormtamer here. Do I want to go in on this Stormtamer? Draw on some cards? I feel like I do. Like they have Cutthroat in place. I feel like I need to pull ahead here. Thank you, Paula. Demox! Pulling out some sub-gifties. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for the Primo Gook. Yeah, so one of the things that I decided to do with this build that probably puts us at a disadvantage in this mirror match is I've cut the Cutthroats from my list to focus on more flying threats. And definitely feeling that here a little bit. Hey, appreciate it, Demox. I'm gonna try and trade for Scary Terry before he gets too scary. I think dual income, no kids, is the universal answer to how the hell is this a business model in today's society. I mean, to be fair, like, a little bit of support from a lot of people goes a long way, too. If they don't have a counterspell, lol, this Trickster could potentially trade for Cutthroat here, which would be ideal. Roadkill, thank you for the very generous tier 3. I appreciate the 31 months. Welcome back. Yeah, Borrower does reset this. That's definitely something that's going to happen here. I assume they're going to end step Brazen Borrower. When they do, I'm going to Brazen Borrower their Cutthroat. And then, like, they're out of spells, so, like, maybe we could be okay from here. Especially if we get some of these going to get some card draw. Like, I'm going to trade this Stormtamer for their Borrower. The board will be a little bit stabilized. That's true too, Fox. Looking for a land. Well. Lovestruck Beast, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. Appreciate you keeping me around. They're pausing like they have a spell to cast. Yeah. Makes the Cutthroat a 42. Other lands this deck. There's actually more lands in this build than a lot of people play in this archetype. I'm gonna try and double block here. Getting this Cutthroat off the table is pretty important. It's not a bad draw. Let's see if they have a spell here, if they're just scrying or just drawing. Now the Spectral Sailor is a card that could pull them through the fact that they flooded a little bit. And we have more spells than them. Yeah. That'll do big. Mystic Dispute, obviously great in this mirror. Dive Down's actually excellent because it's a combat trick. Actually, the Heartless Act probably isn't good enough. Like, not only am I not going to have blue mana or black mana consistently, but, like, their biggest threat that I want to kill has 1/1 counters on it. Maybe if the mirror's something that I care about, maybe these should be cast down instead of Heartless Act. In a post-Winota world, we might be back to cast down being the optimal 2 mana removal spell. Could definitely see that being the case. Trim a couple of my more expensive counters. Trim up, because it's kind of filler. Swift, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. K out of E, thank you for the 10 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. We'll lead on this since I have Spell Pierce to counter a counter. Well. Depends on how big online communities are too, to a degree, Torban. Because, like, I'm gonna go ahead and... do I rather Pierce or Dive Down? think I'd rather dive down. Nah, dive down's a combat check. I'm gonna pierce this because Pierce eventually has diminishing returns. Like, it depends on how big areas are too. Like, for example, in the Magic community, getting 1,000 concurrent subs on Twitch is like a lot. Like, there's probably fewer than a dozen Magic streamers that hit that mark. Our build definitely seems like it's at a disadvantage in the mirror match. I'm gonna swap the Heartless Acts to cast downs, not only for potential for the mirror, but also because one of the Ceratops decks in the format is Gruul, and they have a bunch of riot creatures where cast down is better. Although I guess cast down doesn't kill questing beast. All right, coward split. Coward split. You're not new here, Ranger. Instead of me telling you your card recommendation is bad, tell me why your card recommendation is good. Tell me what problem my deck has that it solves and what I should cut for the cards you're suggesting. Come on now. The wall of text that pops up when you type in the search box is it telling you all of the hidden search features. No joke, if our archetype's not competitive, it's probably largely because of this card. This card is probably single-handedly a big part of the reason why our archetype is potentially not competitive. I saw another content creator tweet yesterday. They were like, well, Magic was just Reclamation and Ramp. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. And it's just like, well, Reclamation and Ramp is basically the entirety of formats on Magic Arena right now. So if you're hoping for something not Reclamation, not Ramp, you probably can't play Arena at the moment. Turns out cheating on mana is the best thing you could do in this game. Who'd have thought? Am I playing this? I feel like I'm not. Well, there's some cat oven too, right? Maybe. I don't actually know how good that is. Let's get our spell pierce in while the getting is good. And also, and like, this is kind of a demoralizing thing to think about, so maybe I shouldn't say it, but however much Reclamation and Ramp you are seeing right now, this is the least amount of Reclamation and Ramp you are going to see until rotation on Magic Arena, because a new set just dropped, and this is the most experimentation that will happen until rotation happens. So the high volumes of it you are seeing right now is the least you will see until October, almost assuredly. Hey, thanks for the 19 months, Waticus. Hope you're staying safe out there. Welcome back. I didn't come here for pain like that. Yeah, listen, I know blunt realism is rough. Weird that they didn't shock that in to activate Kenix, or Kenny in. Maybe they don't have things to get? Great. Aether Gust, Disdainful Stroke, Negate. I think we're trimming Spell Pierce here. Don't really need Merfolk Trickster. Just gets blocked by a lot of their stuff. It's a good time to play Libya. Hopefully they bring back Cube quickly. They don't really have much removal in their archetype, so we could trim Dive Down here. Bouncing things probably isn't too stellar, so maybe I trim Unsubstantiate since I still have Brazen Borrower. Keep the harder counters in my deck. I agree. I would rather play against... In fact, that sounds like a good tweet. That sounds like a good tweet. Would much rather play against Fires of Invention than Wilderness Reclamation. Feel free to like and retweet. You know, if you want to let Wizards of the Coast know you feel the same. God bless Ripson. Sharp, 6 for 23 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Looking for a threat here. Our hand's got a bunch of pieces of disruption. We need a way to actually kill them while we disrupt them here. That's a decent piece. Might as well. Oh, yeah. Dispute me, daddy. Getting a dispute. That was a great draw. Getting a dispute burned there rather than on one of our counter spells next turn sounds good for us. Alright, we've got a threat, and we've got 4 counter spells in hand. Welcome to Thunderdome. Isn't Magic fun, chat? Isn't Magic fun? Now, I have the worst luck with legendary things on Raid. I've opened 4 legendaries, and 2 of them were champions that were fusions that were so bad I didn't do the fusion while I was playing. Lofty Denial probably gonna draw dead here. Although the second one means I can probably 2 for 1 something. These are counters unless they pay 4 while I have Borrower out. What's their best draw here? Probably Hydroid Crisis or Ulamog. Looking for another threat or a way to draw cards here. That'll do, pig. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. Alright, so they get to draw 3 cards here and gain 3 life. We'll see if this is enough to play through that or not. Okay, if we can fade a second Hydroid Crisis, I like our spot. Sorry, Kenix. I'm the bad man. Do 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 do. You had sucked and you're a bad. Yes to both accounts. I see, no lie. We're on the draw. I'm gonna YOLO this. If we draw a threat, this hand's real good. We have 12 fantastic draws in our deck. Another half a dozen okay draws past that. I mean, to be fair, mediocre deck describes a lot of what we play here on stream. Yeah, Kenix, when you conceded to the Negate, we had double Aether Gust, Wizard's Retort in hand. I like this edition too. This is a card that I really liked when it was in Standard last time. I'm looking forward to playing this card with Mutate in the fall. Rotation just cannot get here soon enough. I feel like I just need to, like, limp across the content finish line. Like, we're currently just, like, mucking through sludge. Oh, by the way, something I haven't mentioned yet today. I tweeted it out last night for people that don't follow me on Twitter, aren't in the subs Discord. I updated my schedule. I'm going to tentatively be trying shorter streams but live every day of the week and see how that works for both my own personal metrics as well as my personal life. Yeah, and if you look at the schedule I posted, I'm planning to do 2 parts Magic, 1 part Runeterra, so we'll get a little variety in that way, even if Magic standard format isn't playable at the moment. Lands are actually pretty decent pickups here. So, I'm not ready for that yet. Please hold on. It's a neat card to be in Naya for. Not quite Time Walk because they attacked us for 5, but yeah, it was close. Yep. Yeah, now we picked up some extra cards. We're ready for it. Can't just let that happen. Please play a non-creature spell I can spell Pierce. Do I try and kill them here? I can dive down, spell pierce my dive down, double fart my Pteramanders and kill them. I think that's the line, right? Dojo does not contain fear, chat. One little fart, two little farts. Thank you for 13. Sick. You love to see it. It's nice. It's nice to get some value out of a spell pierce there in a matchup where it's otherwise not generally very good. Bring in the extra dive down because it's a combat trick. We're going to bring in these Aether Gusts, these cast downs, and this Heartless Act. This is basically exactly the matchup Heartless Act / cast down are in our sideboard for. What do I want to trim? I think I'm trimming at least a couple of ops. I think I don't really have time to get that going a lot of the time. Sea-Dasher Octopus is probably a little bit on the expensive side. Maybe I trim that and just leave Curious Obsession as card advantage. Maybe trim one of my more expensive counterspells in Wizard's Retort. I also want more cards that play to the board, so trimming Wizard's Retort makes sense from that perspective. Maybe I cut both of these and just leave the third opt-in to dig to my removal a little bit better. I think I like that. I don't think this is a Disdainful Stroke matchup. They have like Aurelia, but they also have a lot of things that are much cheaper than that. Do we want the bounce spell over the counter spells? Well, all the bounce spells are in my deck, so I'm not sure what you're referring to. Nicker, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Just keep me around. I think we lead on Pteramander here. Although maybe that's not true. Maybe I just lead on Stormtamer because eventually we'll fart this, and having a 5/5 is very good in this matchup, as exemplified by last game. Easiest block of my life. Alright, Scary Terry, I choose you. Opponent missed a land drop after mulliganing. Feels Magic Man. Growth Chamber Guardian. Here's a blast from the past. Kira is bad in tempo because you're on dive down and obsession. Yeah, I think Kira's too expensive. I think Kira's bad for a lot of the same reasons Temptation isn't good enough. Like three mana sorcery speed threat is a big ask. Like how good a 3 mana sorcery speed threat has to be playable in a deck like this is like pretty strong. Yes, Kenix, but then they have a 3/3, so, or then they have a 4/4 still. You've killed him with fire. In the most literal sense, he's been killed with fire. Yeah, I'm not supposed to play this. I'm just supposed to Borrower this turn. Red Rover, let Spellbreaker come over. Huh? Okay, I think that's fine. We're just gonna flash in Borrower. This is a 3-turn clock. I think I definitely should have played Borrower the previous turn instead of playing with this and passing with mana up. It's getting a little windy in here, chat. No blocks. Great. Yeah, I don't think this could be lethal, but if I tap out for it, there's a good chance Brazen Borrower just dies, which is not a worthwhile exchange for me, I don't think. Go. Bone Crusher Giant is really bad against Siren Stormtamer. I think Grim Lavamancer is probably good in, like, the, it's probably good in the, like, Grixis Dredge deck we played a little bit of on stream. Like, decks that fill their graveyards up. Anyways, could be, like, a sideboard card there for the creature matchups. Like, if you look at, like, for example, like, the Blue-Red Wizards deck I played in Modern for a while that played Grim Lavamancer in the main even at times, like, that deck frequently only played, like, 4 to 6 fetch lands. There were plenty of games where, like, Lavamancer was fine where you, like, didn't have any fetches. It's not, like, only good in decks that have, like, 8 to 12 fetches. It's different from Deathrite Shaman because it impacts the board. Not only is it different from Deathrite Shaman because it impacts the board, but because it's good longer. So, like, in the matchups where you want Grim Lavamancer, its effect is often still relevant in the mid to late game. Whereas, like, Deathrite Shaman's only good when it's a mana dork. And Deathrite Shaman isn't a mana dork on turn 1 if you don't have fetch lands. They did finally fix the bug where it defaults to a bot match. There's a good chance they're a Bant deck with Yorion here, so rather than playing Curious Obsession, I'm going to hold up Lofty Denial here. Yep. Morning, Belly. Did they fix Wall of Roots? You must be new here. Welcome to Hooglandia. What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. I like magic. Garbage, not fully. We're like a well-drawn counterspell away from being able to kill them, I think. Also, like, we just parked this next turn, right? It's like literally have 7 lands. Shatter me, daddy. Shatter me. The old casual gain 6 off Urros, because why wouldn't you? Because why not? Why wouldn't Urro gain 6 life? Just bringing in more ways to stop Teferi's, basically. Nah, I think Cage for Urro is too narrow. I'd rather have Aether Gust. Aether Gust is able to interact with it while it's in play already. I should actually lead on Pteramander here, because if I draw Curious Obsession on 2, I'd rather put it on Pteramander. A Boreal Grazer. I'm gonna concede to Teferi here. Whoa, no Teferi. What is going on? Is their deck broken? Are they gonna file for compensation? It's exciting. Why does Grazer have reach? Asking the real questions. We have another Omen here. I think one of the most frustrating parts about the Winota ban to me is that I feel like when they banned Winota, they got rid of the thing that made Historic meaningfully different than Standard. Like some of the details are different between the formats, but like at their core, the core gameplay experience that Historic and Standard both have right now feels very much the same. Like, the thing that made Historic stand out, and what I really enjoyed of it from compared to Standard, was the fact that Historic had good aggressive decks in it, and like, since they banned the good aggressive deck in this format, it's just a blur of Wilderness Reclamations and Teferi's and Ramp, like Standard is. Alright, we can start attacking for 1 now here. That's exciting. I'm gonna get my Lofty Denial in here before it draws dead. Yeah, I think that's a good observation too. The best fair modern decks are all filled with cards that are currently standard legal as well, because designs have been so pushed. Big agree. Well, we've countered enough spells that we can start farting these Pteramanders at least. The number on the Pteramander is how much it's reduced by, so it costs 8, so these currently cost 3 to activate. Are you crazy for wanting Grazer banned? I don't think so. I think banning Grazer is a pretty reasonable thing to request. I also don't think banning Grazer really addresses nearly all of the problems, like pretty far from it, in fact. Because you can make good or okay in Historic. It seemed very good so far. I think Magic was in a better place design-wise when they were not printing 1-mana accelerants and 4-mana sweepers. I think the games of Magic were meaningfully better on average. Alright, they double topped and then they made no plays. That's a decision. Sure. Yeah, I agree. Magic games spend a lot of time in what we refer to as garbage time. They spend a lot of time where one player, like, the game hasn't ended, but like players are still taking game actions. And games tend to snowball in a way that's really unenjoyable on average a lot of the time, it feels like. Yeah, folks did complain a lot. And in fact, I think if I recall correctly, I was one of the folks who complained about no 1-mana accelerants and no 4-mana sweepers. And if I'm remembering correctly and I was one of those people, I was wrong. I think the formats were much better when those things didn't exist.
That's more like it.
I was excited for the instant speed shatter here. They're playing an 80 card deck, so naturally they'll have the third one.
Don't worry, I got this.
Alright, and we're dead. I'm gonna go ahead and be done with this one. I don't know. Let's play one more. I don't know. It's just like, my ability to, my desire and like my emotions to play Magic after playing against these decks is just like, they're just so far gone. Like the type of Magic it is compared to like the good creature matchups is just like night and day different. That's true. For the last week, every time I've said, nah, let's play one more, we queue into Nexus of Fate. So we'll see if that continues. When I acknowledge I haven't had all of the optimism beaten out of me yet and I decide to play one more, Nexus of Fate shows up. Lukewarm Ice! Thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub, I appreciate that. Welcome to Glandia. Yay! More Tefri! Yay! I don't like playing Magic as a best of one game, Cyril. I don't. I think it just doesn't. It doesn't have the parts of Magic that I enjoy. Magic has too much variance game to game for me to really enjoy it as a best of one game. I'm not conceding and looking again, chat. This is Magic. If you don't want to play these games and watch these games, you should go watch a different. You should stop watching and playing Magic. Like, if I concede all the matches to Ramp and Nexus of Fate, I literally just sit here and won't play all day. This is the format. This is what it is. Yeah, we just can't be Field of the Dead. They have too many blockers. Yeah, I'm gonna be done with this one. This deck is not particularly competitive. Yeah, if you don't like Breeding Pool, I'd recommend hanging out through the Legends of Runeterra that we're gonna do at the end today. I don't know. Like, Arboreal Greaser's a beating. Teferi's a beating. You can win games if you try. Lofty Denial was good. Pteramander was really good. Having 12 1-drops and 6 ways to draw extra cards was good. But as a core power level perspective, this deck's probably not good enough to really be competitive. Do you think Jumpstart will change what Magic is meaningfully for Stork? No. I don't think you can. I don't think anything coming in Jumpstart's gonna fundamentally change what's in Historic. Which is a tough pill to swallow. Like I said, I think when they banned Winota, they damned this format to being just like a shell of what Standard is with slightly different cards and slightly better mana. When they got rid of the police, when they got rid of the deck that was demanding people be interactive, they opened the floodgates to just be as greedy as possible and just ramp and ignore your opponent. And there's nothing that exists to punish these ramp decks. They need to put something into the format similar to Winota that's super aggressive and can run these people down and demand they play interaction. I don't think there's anything in the format currently that comes close to doing that in the way Winota did it. Yeah, Winota was Splinter Twin. That's exactly what it was. Winota was Splinter Twin. Winota was Cat Combo. It was the thing. It was the thing that kept the greed from greeding, basically. Alright, I am going to hit a quick ad roll. When we get back, we are going to kick the tires on some more Yarak fields here. I am trying a build without Obosh today with Agonizing Remorse in the main, because Remorse is very good in these ramp mirrors there's been a lot of, so we'll be back in just a few, entering the arms race and seeing how Yarak field fares in it.